Hey guys, welcome back to another Virgo Girl recommendation. And today's recommendation is Can You Feel the Beat? The Lisa story. Let me start off by saying this documentary was something else. When I first saw it, I kind of thought to myself, I think this is going to be kind of cheesy because I don't know. It's just the way it looked in the beginning, the way the actress kind of came across, and I thought, nah, this is not going to be worth my time. But boy, was I wrong. I was so wrong, you guys. And I'm so happy that I continued watching. You know, that saying, don't judge a book by its cover. When it comes to watching things, sometimes you can't judge things by the first few minutes. Anyway, the documentary, oh my gosh, so many things that they said in this documentary I would have never dreamed happened. So let me start off by saying Lisa, well, okay, before I even get into the documentary, I want to say I like old school music. I really do. Like, I like musicians who are super talented. I enjoy a musician who knows how to play several instruments. I'll give an example of some people that I like. And of course, I love Prince. I think Prince was an amazing musician. I like Michael Hutchinson from NXS, very talented. I liked George Michael. And I'm naming old acts like from the 80s. So when I say I like old school, I do like old school music. I like just older music. Like, I feel like when we listen to this old music that still like resonates today and that still people know today, that's the music that I like. Because I mean, imagine some of this music, of course, was made before we were born, and we still recognize this music. Young people still recognize this music. There are so many songs that are recognizable that came out in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. And a lot of these musicians were so super talented because back then, I mean, you really had to grow. You had to be someone to make it, which leads me into this documentary. It was Lisa's voice that got her in the door and got her to where she is today. And she definitely was a little powerhouse. So without spoiling everything, which when it comes to documentaries, can you really spoil them because they already happened? Yes, because I honestly didn't know anything about Lisa. I'm not going to lie. I did not know one thing about her. I had no idea that she had been married. I had no idea. I just didn't know anything about her. I didn't even know she was from New York, to be honest with you. So for me, the documentary was like a clean slate because I didn't know anything. So it was so good to me to find out all these things about her. I'm going to also say, before I get started, the songs that I love by Lisa. I love All Cried Out and I love Head to Toe. I think those are my two favorite songs by the group, Lisa and Cult Jam. Yeah, those are just great songs. They have other ones that I think are good too, but those, if I had to pick, two, those are my two favorite. And as I was stating a moment ago, a lot of the older acts, they're just talented. Let me not leave out Michael Jackson, Diana Ross. The older acts, their songs that they play, they can play now and like everyone knows them. It's just amazing to me how these songs are lasting 30, 40 years. And there's people who are putting out music today that doesn't last 30 or 40 minutes, without people like saying, okay, next. So yeah, it's just amazing to me. And the pure talent. I don't know if you guys, Marvin Gaye. Can we talk about Marvin Gaye when we talk about talent, right? So I was on Instagram, someone had posted Marvin Gaye singing I Heard It Through the Grapevine a cappella, no music. Oh my God. That if you ever get a chance to find that, go listen to it. Pure talent. Like, I just cannot believe that this man had a voice like this. It's just crazy to me. Anyway, moving on to Lisa Lisa. That was kind of a long introduction, but we have to talk about the greats, guys. We have to give them, even though a lot of them are gone, some of them are still here, a lot of them are gone, but we have to give them their flowers. These people were so talented. I'm talking about the people who were talented and without auto-tune. Like, they have a saying, stand flat-footed, or as a stand flat-footed and sing, or stand flat-footed and sing, or something like that. There's like this saying where and what that means is someone could just stand in front of you and sing, and it's amazing. They don't need anything but their voice. People like Aretha Franklin. There are just people who have these voices that are just simply amazing. But anyway, Whitney Houston, of course, is another one. So, Lisa Lisa. This documentary, the things I found out about Lisa Lisa, oh my goodness. I had no idea she was, 15 when she first started. So that was mind-blowing, especially everything we know now about the music industry. So they touched on some things that happened to her in this documentary, but I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think she left out a lot. And when I say a lot, I think she left out 90% of the things that happened to her. She was 15, very vulnerable, very inexperienced young girl, and just the little tidbits that she put in the documentary, the parts that they put in, it let me know that she had a hard time. And it's so funny how we have no idea what's going on behind the scenes. When we hear these magnificent songs, we have no idea what these people went through to get there, to get that song on the radio. A lot of them went through a lot, especially the women. And not taking away from the men, because they go through stuff too. But, when I look at a young girl that's like 15, oh my gosh, can you imagine her in the music industry with all the sharks and all the things and trying to make it and I noticed, like, in the documentary, it was almost like she was desperate not to have to go back to her old ways, because she came from a very humble background. So the way in which she had to sacrifice and kind of let stuff go, it was crazy. Like, I'll give you an example. Some of you may already know this if you were around during the time when she was out. I'm not sure if this stuff came out. See, the difference between now and back then, now we assume that everyone knew everything, but back then people would cover up stuff a lot, because remember, there was no internet back then, and we only kind of got whatever was out. There was no one there to record things. The generation now speaks out more. Back then, a lot of things that were right now are considered wrong, back then was considered okay, just like whatever, you just kind of like, people just let it go and look the other way. So I just want to say that just the tidbits that she threw out lets me know that she went through a lot with those men, those old men, and she was just very young, a teenager. So just, some of the things. But anyway, I said I was going to say something just a moment ago. I slipped my mind there for a minute. But what I was going to say a moment ago was that there was a part of the documentary where she was in the room with this guy, and he was, just forcing himself, being overbearing, if you will, and in an inappropriate way. And she kept saying, and it was so sad, because she said, "You play too much," kind of like being like, she had to fight him off, but it was almost like she was trying to make him feel okay about it, and just say, "Oh, stop playing around," But in the whole time he wasn't playing around, he was serious. But it was almost like she was trying to spare his feelings, whereas he was so wrong to be all over this young girl, trying to force himself upon her. So, yeah, that scene let me know that poor young lady probably went through all kinds of stuff, being that young in the music industry and traveling with all those men. But, she made it through. It also spoke about her condition, her medical condition. I guess she had cancer at a very young age. Of course, I didn't know that. She went through a lot with that. But throughout all that, she kept working. So when I was saying that it was almost like she was desperate to be there. Yeah, she fought through it. I mean, she was a titan. And I think Lisa, I don't know, I can't say if she got any credit, any credit or flowers or anything. I don't know. But if she hasn't received the flowers that she deserves, I think someone should do some type of, what do they call it? Honorary award or tribute. Yeah, that's what it is. A tribute to Lisa while she's still here. Let's give her flowers. She is a true legend. She has great music. Her story's great. She seems like a person that deserves something like that. And I don't know if she's ever has had anything like that. I don't recall. I've never followed Lisa like that. Like I said, I didn't know anything about her. It seems like, and about anything about her personally, but I knew her music. I like her music. Those songs I just told you about. So another thing about Lisa, come to find out, is that she got married very young. Some videos say 19. On the documentary they were saying 20 on Can You Feel the Beat. But then I was watching some YouTube videos on her today, and they said she was actually 19. So I don't know. Anyway, she was young, okay? And she got married, and it just showed like what she went through. So the guy that she married, he was a guy that she met before the fame, if you will, but she was just like kind of like on the brink of just kind of like being discovered and all of that. So it was before, but he was, she blew up kind of fast, so he was kind of there. And it just kind of showed how how tough she was, because she went through a lot with him too. And I mean, even, and just all of that, it was just such a sad situation for someone who was so young, but it was like the music, the singing was so much of her dream that it's almost like she had to go through all that to get where she, to get to her stardom, if you will. And it's kind of unfortunate these people have this instrument, they have this talent, their voice, or, whatever their talent is. And it's so sad that that can't just be enough. It's almost like they have to go through hell just to make it, even though they're the talented ones, and the ones sitting in the room without, an ounce of talent are the ones who are reaping the benefits, and that are causing so much stress and, pain to these artists. And it's like with Lisa, all she wanted to do was sing, but she had to go through so many hoops just to get there. And it just bothered me to see, like, even when she was 15, the questions they were asking her, the way they were touching her, it was just a lot, guys. I just didn't like it, because I feel like she was so young, who was protecting her? Anyway, moving on to the band. So another part they touched on was kind of how, guys, I feel like this is with every lead singer. Am I wrong? She was getting the most attention. The band was a little bit, kind of jealous, if you will, because they weren't getting the attention. And of course, it's always the person who started the band who ends up not getting the most attention. I don't know why it kind of ends up like that, but a lot of times that seems like the case. So the guy, I think his name is Michael, he was the one who started, it was his band, and him and the other guy, I can't remember his name right now, but I think it starts with an E. But those two guys, they had a band, they were looking for a female singer. So they basically, were the starters of this band. And Lisa came in and just took over because she was, pretty young, fresh, and she was a great singer. So the people loved her. They loved her. And it kind of showed how she kind of like, it kind of like bothered them, I think. I think they were kind of a little bit bothered by the fact that she got all the attention. Anyway, the people, the people in the industry, it's so amazing to me that these people can get away with the things that they get away with. It's just amazing to me. I'm sorry, as far as the group goes, I don't want to just say that this guy, I don't know his name. I want to say, it says that the members of Lisa and Code Jam are Mike Hughes, Mosley, and Alex Spandor. So I want to give those guys, a proper time to, say their names, because I don't want to just say, oh, I can't remember, whatever. I want to be fair because they were a pivotal part of this group, and they started it. It's their group, they started it, and then Lisa came later. But so let's give them credit too, for their talents and for it being their band. Anyway, Lisa also had she had a bad, well, I would say not the best childhood when it comes to her father. It looks like there was some type of bad things going on in the household with the father. They just kind of touched on that a little bit. It looks like there was some abuse. It just didn't look like a healthy household when the father was around. So I don't know. So she went through that as well. And I think that probably had something to do with some of the decisions she made later. And I think she actually, if I'm not mistaken, she even said that too. Yes, she did. She was saying how, because the fact that her father wasn't really there for her in the way that she wanted him to be and love her, the way that she wanted him to love her. And I'm paraphrasing. This wasn't verbatim what she said, but basically that's what she said. And that's kind of why she chose, the man she chose. When it comes to this documentary, guys, let me just say this. I feel like they cut it off. The documentary focused a lot on her and her friend Tony. Tony was a background dancer. She was ended up being Lisa's best friend. The lady was really troubled. She was on drugs and things like that prior to, signing up with the band. She just had a troubled life. Her dad was horrible, and she just went through a lot. The lady Tony. Tony ended up. It ended up being a blessing, though, because her and Lisa ended up being best friends. So a great friendship came out of it. So that worked out well. However, Lisa ended up, Tony ended up being kind of like a protector for Lisa, if you will. And I think it's because they were saying that Tony had already been in the music industry, so she kind of knew how it worked. So Tony was kind of like a voice of reason for Lisa, and she was there to help her. I feel like this film really focused a lot on Tony and Lisa's friendship. I kind of wish that they would have, I'm glad they included that, because of course no way we would have known about that unless, I guess, I don't know how we would have known about their friendship and all that, which is great. I think it's great that they remain friends and they're friends and all that, but I really wish they would have gave us a little bit more. I would have liked to know just a little bit more, but when I think about it, I guess there's only so much they can do. I kind of want to know what happened. So did they broke up, and of course, I remember Lisa was on that show Taina, which was on Nickelodeon, so she got that gig. What is she doing now? What's up? I don't know. I felt like I needed a little bit more in this documentary, but I'm not mad at it. It's a great documentary, and I'm definitely recommending it. But I did want a little bit more, guys. I did. I needed them to maybe dig a little bit or give us a little bit more, maybe 30 minutes more. I think would have been good, just so we can get a little bit more information on leading up to now with her. I know they said that she had been cancer-free for 20 years, which is amazing. That's so good. That's so amazing to hear. And another thing they were saying that because they caught it so early, they caught it early, they were able to treat her. And that's amazing too. I'm glad that even though she was so determined to just, because, basically she cared so much about her career, I'm glad she cared enough about her health to go ahead and get that treatment, which ultimately, saved her. So it's awesome that they caught it early. She was young, age helps. She was young. They fought it, and she's good today. So that's such a great thing to hear. However, I don't know, guys. It left me wanting more. So I went out searching, trying to watch other videos about Lisa. Anyway, guys, it's a great little documentary. It's on Lifetime. That's where I watched it. And it's called Can You Feel the Beat? And with Lisa, the story of Lisa. You guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Until next time, don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe.
Peace.